It's almost Christmas, which might be canceled in America because, you know, let's just go for it. If we're gonna ruin this year, let's ruin it right. I'm gonna make me some Snickerdoodle cookies because that's one of my favorite Christmas treats. It's also my mother-in-law Becky's, hashtag be a Becky, favorite thing that I make. So they're of course gonna be gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, but they're still delicious. Don't click away. Don't do it. They're still really good. You're gonna love it. So the great thing about the Snickerdoodle recipe, it's easy, it's fast, it is vegan, it is gluten-free, but most importantly, it is freaking delicious and you're gonna wanna eat all of them yourself. So let's get into these amazing Snickerdoodle Christmas cookies. All right, so first things first, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and get 2 flax eggs ready. Flax eggs are 1 tablespoon of flax meal, 3 tablespoons of water. So you're gonna need 2 of those for this recipe. So get those prepared. I have some prepared literally that I prepared last night because I thought I was gonna make these cookies last night, but I ran out of time. And you can see how it looks nice and gloopy, looks very much like an egg. And yeah, you could definitely, if you're somebody who likes to bake all the time, you can have some on hand all the time. But this is 2 flax eggs worth. And then, yeah, so let's start with that. All right, so step 1, you want a cup of butter. I like the Miyokos vegan brand. If you're gonna use normal butter, I highly recommend the unsalted Kerrygold. That's a good one. Or Earth Balance works really well too if you're looking for plant-based. So this has been softened. I let it sit out for an hour while I walked my dogs. So here we go with the butter, with a cup/2 sticks of vegan butter. That's the first thing you want. All right, next you're gonna throw a cup and a half of sugar. Now, if you're looking at me and like, AJ, I eat plant-based for my health, so I don't want no sugar. Well, if you're that person, that's wonderful, first of all. But second, I would say, why don't you swap it out for maybe some coconut sugar? It would probably work the same. It would definitely work the same. You can swap it out with coconut sugar or maple sugar. They will be browner cookies, but they'll be very good. My brother-in-law, Levi, he actually makes these all the time with alt sugars like coconut or maple, so you can always do that. All right, so step 1, get the butter and sugar mixed. If you have a stand mixer, I'd definitely put it in there with the whisk attachment. I don't have one, so I'm gonna just use a whisk and a rubber spatula, but really mix it good. You really kind of want the butter, like every piece of butter to be covered in sugar. It really makes the difference between whether or not you're gonna enjoy these cookies. And I want you to enjoy these cookies. You want you to enjoy these cookies. We're on the same team, so just trust me when I say that this is what you want to do. I have got this nice and whipped. The butter and sugar is nice and creamed, and it's starting to look like a Snickerdoodle even color. If you are able to check this out on the whisk here, it looks like the Snickerdoodle, which is good. And it's a lot of sugar and butter. I mean, they're cookies, that's what they are. All right, the next things you're gonna wanna add are your flax eggs and your vanilla. So with the flax eggs, remember just like earlier, we prepared these 2 flax eggs, and you can see the gloop. That's when you know you got a good one, right? When it's nice and gloopy, just like a real egg. All right, so you get the gloop in there, and then just a little bit of vanilla. Yes, I'm eyeballing the vanilla. I know that you're not supposed to eyeball things in baking. I already know this. I know you're not supposed to do it, but I'm doing it anyway, because I'm feeling like a bad boy, you know? All right, so go ahead and stir this together with your flax eggs. And you might notice you see a little bit of the flax in there. That's not, it's okay. It's gonna dissolve away as these bake. So don't panic, don't think these are gonna look like not Snickerdoodles. They are. I assure you, these will be Snickerdoodles. And the more you whip it, the better. That's why I said in the beginning, if you have a stand mixer, that's ideal, because you actually kind of want some air into this cookie dough. It doesn't need to be a lot, and you don't need a stand mixer, as you can see, but a little bit of air kind of goes a long way in this recipe. So from here, we're going to add our dry ingredients straight into the liquid wet ingredients. So we're going to do 2 3/4 cup of gluten-free all-purpose baking flour. I like Bob's, but any all-purpose gluten-free flour would work. Even oat flour would work. They're pretty much 1-to-1 switches. So we're going to do 2 3/4 cup of this. All right, so that should be it for your flour. Now, when you're mixing the flour in, be careful not to overmix it. Now, gluten-free flour doesn't have the same thing as normal flour, where if you overmix it, it'll develop too much gluten because there's no gluten in this. But I would still advise you not overworking it too much. And if I were you, and I'm not, but if I were, I would use a rubber spatula instead of a whisk, unless of course you have a stand mixer, which is better than human power, because robots, they can just outperform us. That's why we don't give them brains. I'm gonna start stirring this flour in very loosely, and then we're gonna add the rest of the dry ingredients. Okay, so I have the flour starting to mix. So before it's completely put together, I'm gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of cream of tartar, and I believe a 1/2 teaspoon, is it a 1/2 teaspoon or a teaspoon of baking soda? Yeah, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, which is optional, of course, but I would add a little. Why not? Why not? We only live once, you know? Well, that's the old adage. I think we know better than that by now, huh? All right, so just keep mixing this. You're gonna notice it's kind of coming together thick because of the gluten-free flour. Don't panic. You actually, because of the vegan butter in this, it's gonna seem a little bit more, it's not going to be as melty as traditional drop cookies. And these aren't drop, technically. You're going to flatten them down, but you're going to see it's going to be really good. Next is you want to get this all mixed together, the baking soda, cream of tartar, and the salt. And then once you've done this part, you're pretty much almost done. Last thing we got to do is I'm going to mix together my sugar and cinnamon mixture, which is going to be about 1/4 cup of sugar and about 1 tablespoon or 2 of cinnamon. And that's how you're gonna get that traditional Snickerdoodle coloring and coating all around it, okay? So that's what's gonna come next. We're gonna get these, we're gonna roll these into balls, and then we're gonna start rolling them around into the actual topping, and then throwing them on the baking sheet and get them baking. That's it. This is a quick one. Okay, so you can see here, I'm re-rolling some of the first cookies I did because I didn't have enough cinnamon, so they were looking a little light, which is actually how my wife JD likes them, but I think these look cuter, so I'm gonna make them this way. But yeah, so we're just rolling it into the cinnamon sugar mixture. You can see you really like, because this is vegan butter, and specifically the Miyoko's brand, it's almost a little more like tacky. It's a little bit more like Play-Doh in a delicious way. So you can actually really roll these together. Like, you don't have to be shy with it. You really want them to be nice, even balls, because that's going to make sure that the cinnamon sugar coating is even as well. Okay, so I'm just rolling the first batch that didn't have enough cinnamon, because I did have to add a little bit of cinnamon to this mix. And I think we're good here on my first batch of 12, and you're gonna see there's a lot more dough. You can actually freeze this. If you're like, AJ, there's only one of me here, or there's only 2 of us here, I don't eat 30 cookies or 20 cookies, totally cool. You can throw it in the freezer. It's good whenever you need it. You can throw it in the fridge if you're gonna use it throughout the week. We do it pretty much every time because this recipe yields a whole bunch of cookies. So next thing we're gonna do is just flatten these. I like to use the back of a measuring spoon, but you could use anything, and if it sticks, you can do one of 2 things. You can either dip it in water so that it doesn't stick, or you can spray it with cooking oil. Either one of those things will help your cookies not stick to the apparatus that you're using to flatten them down. All right, so I'm gonna do that. You're gonna throw it in your oven for about 9 to 12 minutes, and then when you pull them out, you're gonna let them cool for a little while, and then that's it. You got yourself some Snickerdoodle cookies. So I'm gonna go ahead, flatten these, throw them in the oven, and I'll see you when it's time to eat these. All right, so we've got our Snickerdoodle cookies here, vegan, gluten-free, sugar-full, cinnamon-full. There it is. If you want to check it out, hopefully I get a better picture of it. I'm gonna have my beautiful fairy wife come in here and taste test these Snickerdoodles.
Awesome.
What were you up to? Working out? Cleaning?
Cleaning the house.
Cleaning the house?
This is a nice break.
Nice little break.
Yeah.
Nice little 1 minute break.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they look good like they always do.
Thanks.
Yeah. I like the crackly.
I like the Cragglies too.
How do you get that without cream of tartar?
There is cream of tartar in it.
Oh, that's vegan?
I think so.
Okay.
Is cream of tartar not vegan?
Probably is.
I think it's vegan.
Probably.
Shit, now I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Is it good? Yes! It's the treat you needed right now. Awesome.
Yep. I mean, I love sugar cookies, so
Yeah.
they taste like a sugar cookie to me, but with cinnamon,
Yep.
which I love, so.
Do you get the tang of the vegan tartar?
Usually cookies with real sugar in them are too sweet for me, but this one isn't.
Interesting. So she doesn't like cookies with sugar unless it's a sugar cookie, unless it's themed that way.
Yeah.
Obviously. 1 out of 10. How many fairies out of 10?
10.
10 out of 10?
Yeah.
Woo!
They're really good. That's it.
Well, there you go. 10 out of 10. Make them. Christmas cookies, Snickerdoodles. Thank you, Eep. Yeah, so there we are. That was pretty quick, too. You know, I made these in 30, 35 minutes. That's including all this camera work and stuff. So if you make these, go ahead and let me know down below how they turn out, or you can always tag me at HeyAJ on Instagram. Thank you so much. If you were watching this part of this video, that means you finished it, which is amazing. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit like. It helps other people find it. Comment down below if you try this, or if you have a better recipe. I'm happy to test it out. These aren't perfect. They're just perfect for me. And subscribe if you enjoy content like this. That way you never miss another video. Thank you so much. And I will see you next time. If you want more videos to watch, some recommendations will be popping up right now. Bye.